Welcome to the Supernatural Occurrence Studies Podcast.
So damn paranormal.
My name is Jason Knight, host of the show, and with me, as always, is
Oscar Spector,
producer extraordinaire and podcast co-host. Did I hear Lexi in the background there?
You did. That was her. A genuine appearance.
Genuine appearance by Lexi Raven.
Yeah.
Well, as you could tell by the title of this episode, this is not a regular episode. Boo, right?
Boo Radley.
Boo Radley, indeed. Listeners, I wanted to issue an apology. I was not prepared this podcast release. I had something pretty, extraordinary happen to me, and I was unable to keep my mind on the topic I was researching and my heart into it, and I couldn't get it together. So I wanted to get on the mic and issue an apology. I know you guys expect a release every 2 weeks, and I just couldn't get to do it.
Yeah. I mean, we are releasing something. We're releasing this.
We're releasing this. Yeah, it's an apology. I didn't want to leave an empty 2 weeks and have listeners get upset with us. So if I may, I'll just say, and this is something that's happening to millions of people, unfortunately, right now. I'm not special in this case.
Right.
But, I lost my job. Actually, the term is furloughed. And people tell me, oh, well, you weren't fired or laid off. It's a furlough. That's much better. And I hate that response because go ahead. Oh, it looks like you want to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I figure like the media response I would have to that is that like, well, if you're fired, you get severance.
Right. Yeah. No severance. It's furloughed. You're working and now you're not. But there's a promise to bring you back as long as profits are where they need to be. Looks like I'm furloughed till August, which...
Oh, wow.
Yes. Which, and again, people are like, oh, you're lucky, you're furloughed, you're coming back. But you got to understand, someone like me who is constantly busy, 7 days a week, I'm usually busy with work. Monday through Friday, jam-packed. Usually 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning till 6:30 at night, just nonstop.
Yeah.
On the weekends, I'm doing expenses or I'm replying to some emails I didn't get to, towards the end of the week, or I'm doing something, right, for work. Even if it's a little bit on the weekends, I'm still working on the weekends. So, and then all the family stuff, right, and the podcast and research and assembling topics, and to be constantly busy and then come to a screeching halt, like what happened to me and to millions of other people. That's a really hard thing to get your mind around. You suddenly feel empty. And people are like, oh, well, you got more time with your family, or, got more time to research stuff for the show. Yeah, that's true. But that majority, that piece of my life is all of a sudden just ripped away.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to contend with. And that's why I couldn't really get my mind and my heart into getting a topic together for this release. So I apologize.
Have you ever seen I think you would relate a lot to Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now?
Yes. Because that's about a guy soldier who couldn't go back to a real ordinary life, had to come back to the war because he can't live without the insanity of the war. I mean, I'm paraphrasing the whole movie, but yeah, it's kind of like that, how people have like, that thing where they can't leave the hectic whatever of their lives. And you see that a lot in like dramatizations of usually war movies. Other times there's other things. But workaholics, workaholics are the people, right? That's what they all are. That's what except that at workaholics, you're most likely not fearing for your life. Most likely you're obviously getting paid for it. You're making a living. So it's better than a person addicted to war who can't like go back to like having a daily routine at home with the wife. They have to come back into the fray every single day and risk their lives. But it kind of feels like the same. They can't live without it. They can't live without it.
Yeah, I would. I would never equate myself to one of our soldiers, right? I mean,
No, just that's why I mentioned the movie, not reality. Yeah.
right. I mean, I'm way low on the rung of the pole, the what do you call it, ladder compared to
Yeah.
them, right? But I think that addiction to something, workaholic in this case, or
Yes.
it's having that part ripped out. It's very jarring. It sends your life into kind of a spin. You don't know what to do with yourself, and the worst of it was our company told us a week prior to the actual day of execution. We'll call
Day
it
of furlough.
day of furlough. They told us a week in advance that 437 people were going to be furloughed. So we all had a week to think about this. And someone who's OCD and obsessive compulsive like I am, I couldn't sleep. I was pouring through finances. What could be cut? How are we going to survive? Can we do this? Are we going to make it through? And it took a toll on me. And then the day it happened, I didn't know what to do because I wound up being one of the 437. So that's where we're at, man. That's where we're at.
I hear you.
And I don't know. So I did started writing a script. I got 5 pages in. We have a series that I'm working on that I plan to release the first episode in that series this evening, but couldn't do it.
All right.
And then when we jumped on the mics to do this short apology, you and Lexi hit me with some crazy shit.
Yes.
Videos.
Yes. Mainly through Lexi. Yes.
Yes. And her connection to Sedona, Arizona, which is known for strange energies and vortices and UFOs and psychics. And that's kind of what happens in Sedona, right, Lexi?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I'm surprised you can hear you. That's good.
And a friend of yours had sent you a series of videos that show something, I think, spectacular. And we're going to work on that, stitching those videos together, zooming in on these objects. You could really get a good view of them. And I think we're going to release that on Patreon. That'll be a May Patreon episode. But I was pretty floored by the footage that you sent me. And then once we zoomed in on that footage, I think all 3 of our minds were blown.
Yeah, very unexplainable stuff in there, and unique to it's just probably one person, like taking it, and we just happen to know that person. It's not like it's on any site or anything like that. It's corroborated by a person that I've met before in person, and obviously Lexi has too, several times. So there's that authenticity to it. But also, it goes backwards. It goes both ways. Like the authenticity of the person and the footage is real. But what's there and the fact that it's only the 3 of us, really one person that took it, does that make it any more or less likely that it is something strange, something supernatural, something otherworldly or something?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that it hasn't been through many other sites or something and tested or whatever, maybe it's harder to defend sometimes, but who can say? We'll get to it.
We will. We'll get to it. We'll let the patrons decide if it's authentic, if it is what we think it is. As always, we'll leave it up to the listeners and or in this case, the patrons.
This is just bad timing with your job. Not like it wasn't like your fault at all. But had I known before, I would have definitely brought this to you earlier.
Yeah.
So we can research it, because I just gave it to you today, and I only knew about this possible show, this apology show, late yesterday, right? Or was it today?
Yeah.
So I didn't have enough time either to go through it all and either. So
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. It caught me off guard. This was supposed to be like a 10-minute quick recording, and it's a couple hours already after having poured through.
Oh, that's right. You've been recording the whole time.
Playing around with those videos. So, so that's where we're at. Listeners, again, apologies for not having a topic this evening. Hopefully you could forgive us. I do want to mention we gained another patron. I'm going to leave that patron's info and their story. They actually provided a kind of a freaky story. I'm going to leave all that info for the next real topical episode. I'll plug him and tell his story then. But so that was great. So thank you.
Yeah.
And please, now's a great time to support us on Patreon.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Now more than ever.
Now more than ever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of a lot of podcasters out there. Some are suffering, some are not. Some are barely solvent. Like one of my favorite podcasters had to fire one of their people because they couldn't afford them anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the main two, it's just mainly two voices, but they added in 4 total. They added in 2 more over the years. One of them was very part-time and she did it for free, so it was okay. But the other one was paid and they had to get rid of her for now until they can pick it up again. So that happened over April, I believe. So yeah.
Wow.
You can see it in some places that are even successful places. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Times are tough. Times are crazy. Never thought we'd be living in a world like this. But if you want to join our Patreon and support the show, that's patreon.com/supernatural occurrence studies podcast, or just go to chicagoghostpodcast.com, click on follow, then click on the big P, the Patreon icon. It'll take you right to us. We'd greatly appreciate it. Oscar, anything else before we get out of here?
Well, yeah, I mean, because we can make it a little longer. We don't have to make it 10 minutes if you want to. I mean, I have, I started work. I mean,
you're working again?
Yes.
Nice.
The first week is this week.
Good for you, man. How's it feel to be back?
It's good. I mean, it's boring, but that's better. And I'd rather be there. Or I'd rather be working than doing nothing.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess. And it's really strange because I have to block the door. No one can come in. Except for like us, right? The workers. And we have to we only accept deliveries and stuff like that. And so mobile orders, we can only order through phone. No one can call ahead. No one can come to the door and order because we don't accept payment through the door. It's very strange.
Now, how many people are you working with at once?
3 to 4. There's a shift change.
And are there any rules with how you interact with coworkers inside the building?
Yeah, we're all wearing masks at all times, gloves with certain handling of items like beverages and foodstuffs.
Wow.
And then what else is another one? Oh yeah, and trying to maintain the 6 feet apart thing, but it's that's in general going to be always broken because the way it's set up. It's not like if you want to go to across the restaurant, across the room or whatever, you have to get by some people. It's impossible to do it otherwise.
So let me ask, after being locked up for so long with very little contact with other people, your family, Lexi from time to time, that's it.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back around others that you're not close to?
I wish I could give a dramatic answer. I feel nothing.
Really?
I feel nothing. It's fine. It's just annoying because I have a mask on now. And I don't feel any different. A lot of people do, but I don't.
I'll tell you,
more boring.
last weekend, I finally went to a store, right?
Oh, you're kidding. Wow.
It was real nice out. It was beautiful out. It was on last Saturday. And I'm like, well, let's plant some shit. Let's get some stuff. Let's get the yard going, right? Yeah. I opened the pool. I got the pool running anyway. It's still too chilly, but pool's running. So I went to the garden store. It's this huge garden store in the neighborhood. And it was packed. People everywhere. Some are wearing masks. Some are not wearing masks. Right. There was this guy standing in line. He's like, I'm not going to wear a fucking mask and no one's going to tell me what to do. It took every fiber in my body not to fucking do something to that guy or say something to that guy.
Right.
Anyway, it's just fucking asshole. I'm like, you're the reason why we have to wear these masks, you prick. So I had a mask on and everything, but I got my stuff and I'm standing in line and all of a sudden I just got super sweaty and my heart started pounding like I thought I was going to have a panic attack.
It sounds like you did
around all those people, right?
Yeah.
Some masks, some not. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to catch this thing. I almost had a panic attack right there in line. And it was freaky. It was freaky. Okay. So I don't know. Okay. What's that?
You made it out okay? You didn't fall down or anything?
No, it was fine. But
That's good.
It just, I don't ever remember feeling that way,
now we know how extreme introverts are. Now we know how they feel, like the ones that are, who grew up that way, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who
exactly.
cannot handle a crowd at all of any size, or agoraphobic people, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right? They feel that way. People who are the claustrophobic people with, they don't do elevators, for example. They don't go in closets, things like that, because it's so
Yeah.
close in. Right?
Yeah. And I wonder if that's going to become a side effect of this quarantine thing because of COVID. People developing agoraphobia or
Yeah.
developing claustrophobia, or
Right. Right.
um,
What do you think? Sorry. Um, I haven't met someone other than you who gave an example. I mean, I can see a few of not my friends, because they're more like the opposite. They're more like that guy you almost yelled at. I'm not saying that's what they do, but they're more like that guy. They're like, I
okay.
don't care. They're just passing through the days. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Um, but I can see a few people though that I've met, either coworkers or associated people that I know, exactly go through what you're saying. I can probably see that for sure. And I'm
Well,
wondering, I'll be curious to ask them, like,
yeah, you should.
once it's all done, right? Once it passes, ask them like how they've been feeling about it. I have an actor friend or coworker. I've known him for a long time. He's been having he does acting classes, but it's kind of hard to do acting classes right now, right?
Yeah.
But he's been trying his best to do it. He's very old, so he doesn't know computery stuff, and he's been trying to like do something with like what we're doing right now with the Zoom stuff and video and audio. But like, how can you like double check how can you know, help them with the acting if you don't know, everything that's going on with it. There's something lost in the transition between here and there. And he's like, I don't know, but I gotta try something. So there's been a lot of weird stories of people doing stuff and coping with stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be some great books coming out of this.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? So I don't know if you heard this in the news, but this really caught my attention because I'm a father. But a lot of people like this guy who was in line right at the store. They don't care. A lot of them don't believe it, or a lot of them are just fed up with it and saying, "Screw it, I'm going to go out, and if it happens, it happens. But I got to go out." Right.
Right, and the protesters,
The
right?
protesters, yeah, exactly. The protesters and all this stuff. So it's almost like the panic is starting to wane a little bit. So what you'll see in the news now is that COVID is affecting children in a different manner. And children are winding up in the hospitals with all these strange, never before seen like symptoms and stuff. So it's
Like
almost
what?
like, oh,
I'm just asking.
skin rashes, red eyes,
Okay.
stomach problems, things like this, right?
Okay.
And they're saying it's new side effects in children that have COVID. But I sat back and I thought, I'm like, wow, a lot of the population is starting to not give a shit or protest, open up. We're not afraid anymore. So what do you do to induce more fear? Well, shit, now it's affecting the children. Now here comes a whole nother round of fear.
The whole semen thing too, right?
What's that?
Heard-
Oh,
I heard about it. I don't think it's real, but I heard it on some clickbaity thing on Facebook or on some timeline somewhere that everyone was talking about the COVID being in semen, or
I
like
did. You're
sexually
right.
transmitted. Or
I
something.
saw that. Yeah. So it's like, how do we generate the next level of fear? How do we get people back under control or back inside the house? And I'll tell you, for
Hornets?
me, well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
For me, it's tell me something's going to get my children. And
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm putty in your hands, right? I'll do whatever you tell me.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm starting, and I didn't want to feed into any of the nonsense of, oh, it's something else is going on. COVID is a false flag for something else, or I don't know, man. I'm starting to kind of look at it differently. It's just kind of funny the way it's escalating all of a sudden. Now that people are getting out and protesting, and now it's boom, it's your children. And like you said, now it's boom, murder hornets, right? Or murder fucking bees, whatever the fuck they're called, right?
Yes.
It's like, how could we turn this dial up without, just enough to get that fear without people saying, come on.
It's just like it's the attention spans of people, right? It's what it is. So managing attention spans, I do kind of feel like it's either all highly embellished realities, like the rash is probably real, but they're highly embellished to scare people to stay away. Still, just they'll say whatever to keep people inside at home.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone's attention span. Now everyone's different. You are going to stay no matter what, but maybe not the next door neighbor, or maybe not the 10th guy after you, right? But
Yeah.
and they got to do what they got to do to keep most, if not all, people inside. And you know, that's how. I mean, everything is so chaotic. No one pays attention to anything for more than a second. So you know, murder hornets.
Murder hornets.
I can see it. It's my point. I can see that being like what do you call it? Like a plan, right? Like a plan of action.
Yeah.
Right. I can see like authorities doing that. Yeah.
And listen, I'm not saying COVID is fake. I'm not saying that at all.
Oh, I'm not saying that either.
You know,
I think it's real.
You know, just the way things.
Yeah. What do you think of the movie stuff?
What do you mean?
Have you heard about? I think was it Universal? You know what they're gonna do?
No.
They're no, they said, and it seems like it's gonna be a sure thing. They're gonna be releasing their movies at the same time as theatrical releases, like the way you can rent a movie like through some service like iTunes, for example, and rent it for on the day it's released, but from forever now, not like just during this crisis. I mean, once theaters are open, it's going to be like a new norm for Universal.
So they're going to open up at the theaters and at home at the same time.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, kind of like Netflix when they do theatrical releases. Whenever they want to get award considerations, they do the same thing. They would like, you know, they put the movie in theaters, and then 2 days later it's on Netflix, right? And you can watch it there. So yeah, that's what they're thinking of doing.
What do you think about that idea?
Oh, it's a wonderful idea. I mean, that's the future. It is the future. I mean, people's home screens are getting sometimes better than the movie theater screen. Now, not really, but it does feel that way with the picture quality and the surround sounding.
Absolutely.
And you know, staying at home in general, not to mention that we're now used to it because of this quarantine, but like a lot of them prefer watching it at home or with family, with friends, people that they know with, like they're not a bunch of strangers that can help along the way. I personally would miss that. Like the theaters are like pissed off right now hearing this news, and they're talking about not showing any Universal movies in some theaters. You know? But their industry, kind of like the cab company, kind of, you know, it's going downhill. It's not going up at all. It's just going downhill. Just how they get down there. It may just the theatrical experience might turn into like a drive-in movie theater, like something special to go to sometimes.
I think
like a novelty thing to do, not like a reality thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's I love it. I'll watch every new release at home.
Oh, dude, I mean, not for everything for me, but for most things, I don't mind at all.
Yeah, I'll miss the movie popcorn.
Oh yeah, you love.
You know, I got that obsession with movie popcorn, man.
Well, I think the solution there would be to try to replicate it at home.
Yeah, because the Act 2 or whatever the fuck, popcorn we get from the store.
Yeah,
it doesn't taste good.
No, it does not. I don't know what they do. Maybe the teenagers like sweat whoever they hire somehow like gets in the grain at
the theater.
The kernels, you know, like I don't know.
Not washing the machine for a decade really
that really adds that flavor.
It's kind of like that cast iron. You know, you never wash it, so it always has that.
That's exactly right.
That's what those fuckers are doing. Because I am addicted to that shit, man.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to. I wanted to Uber Eats a bag of movie popcorn.
You're kidding.
And my wife said, if you spend money on that, you're fucking dead.
You're right. I can, if you get murdered and it's on the news and, you know, Katie, Sparrow did this and I'll be like, for that reason, like, okay, it's not worth murdering, but why did Jay do it? Like, it's not worth not murdering, you know?
I don't condone it, but I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Is that even possible? I mean, the movie theaters are closed anyway. You can't even order that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I got hollered at, so I didn't explore it any further.
Well, you know, I've never ordered Uber Eats, never, until this quarantine, and I've done it twice.
Yeah, it's convenient.
I mean, this girl does it. This girl does it all the time, but she did it all the time before, also. So,
she just gave you a look.
She gave me a look. I bet she did. I did it twice. I was just like lazy and didn't have any food here, so. But yeah, and it's fun and I like it, but like, damn, it does jack up. It does cost after a while.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive.
What else?
That's it for me on my end. I don't have any other news, unfortunately.
No, but I do want to reassure our I almost said clientele, I guess, kind of, right? No, I want to reassure our audience that that we're not really going to miss all. There's no lockstep missing going to happen in the future. Like this is just a one-off specialty bad timing episode, but that we're going to come back strong with a lot of episodes. We have an outline of so many the ideas. Some of them already have. Some of those shows already half made, and some of the stuff we have. And the others just need to be researched and thought out better. But we have a lot of ideas. There's no shortage of ideas or cases or stories to find at all during this quarantine or otherwise. I mean, I myself have 3 to 5 ideas that I can research for, 2 of which I've already started on. Lexi came in with the one that we're doing as a bonus. And then her other thing, which is quarantine related, that I'm not being vague here.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And then we have your series that's coming out, and then your murder series that's going to end whenever you want it. And we have a lot of shows coming up. So
we do. We have a lot, and suddenly I have a lot more time to do it. So
right. So chances are next time we're going to be recording for 12 hours straight. We'll be set for 3 months or something.
Right.
Right. That'd be fun. Yeah.
So good call. Good way to put it. Yeah, it's a fluke, as Oscar said, bad timing. That's all this one is, and we wanted to give you something. We didn't want to leave you hanging. So
right. But had you come up to me and said, "We need a show, we need a topic," I had a lot of I would have forced the one that would have been bonus probably, yeah. But if not that, I would have, done something. I would have figured something out. I would have done something with horror movies or something. I would have, I don't know, it's anything, right?
Right.
There's always something. That's my point.
There is. With these topics, there really is. There's always something.
Right.
So, all right. You good?
I think I am.
I'm good.
All right. Let's take it
Oscar,
home.
do you want to drive us home?
Do I have to drive us home? My license is expired.
Do you want to fly us in a UFO home?
Okay.
So could you find that, what you were looking at, and bookmark it or send it to me or something?
Oh,
okay. That's a yes.
That's a yes.
Was that a Yiddish yes?
That's an affirmative.
It was just.
Do you want me to? Yeah.
Okay.
Like a baby. Like a baby. Yeah. It's like a toddler, asking carrot paste. Pea tendrils. So I woke up this morning, because I rarely remember. And when I do wake up and remember, not every time, half the time, I would write down what I remember because I'll forget minutes.
Okay.
After.
Yeah.
I forget pretty fast. And it makes no sense. I'm going to read it to you, but it does remind me of it. What the hell did I write? Escapes rich murderer something Heya, I don't know why I wrote Heya, suddenly caught in act to prove himself to smart detective and gets in runaway with wife confident / helper. Chicken part super weird with retelling and had to abandon others to escape into death, not unlike RoboCop. That's where I wrote down.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I can tell you. That reminds me of the whole thing, pretty much.